Hey everyone, Jewell here from Jewell Marketing and a member of United Fresh Start Foundation's Board of Trustees. With this month's celebration of the season of giving back, we're telling the stories of produce companies, nonprofits, and school partners who are making a difference in the communities where they serve. So today, I'm excited to be speaking with Jaime Weisinger and Maria Munguia of Lipman Family Farms. Jaime and Maria are two of the architects for Lipman's Day of Good from the ground up. Let me say that again. Day of Good from the ground up. A new initiative launched this year as a way for Lipman employees across North America to give back and support charitable initiatives that benefit children and families in local communities where Lipman operates. So, Jaime and Maria, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing more about this fantastic new initiative. First, Jaime, can you tell our listeners here about Lipman Family Farms and about your company and how your company culture led up to this Day of Good from the ground up?
Yeah, of course I can. Thank you, Cindy. Thanks for having us on today. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I am a fourth generation Lipman family member. And the company is still wholly owned by my family. And we've been operating in Florida since the 1950s. And so we've actually moved our headquarters over here to Immokalee in the early 80s. And while Immokalee is a small a small rural farming town, there's a lot of need in here. And so since the beginning, we have always had an eye towards service and philanthropy. And so we've always believed that our company is more than buildings and chairs and desks. It's a living, breathing entity. It's not just the assets. It's not tractors and farm fields. It's people. It's somebody's uncle and somebody's grandmother and somebody's cousin. And so we've always felt that we have an obligation to be a part of that community. You know, that the company is this living entity. And so we've always had that eye towards philanthropy. And it's interesting because since then we've expanded our footprint broadly. We now have a North American footprint with over 50 physical locations that make up our company. So we wanted to consider how can we expand that sense of giving out to our other locations. And while Immokalee has a lot of need, we operate in a lot of cities where there is a lot of need everywhere. And so that's when we came up with the idea of Day of Good from the ground up. We like to think of ourselves as good from the ground up. And so we wanted a day where we coordinated as many of our locations as we can to get out into their communities and give back to their own community. And that's how we came up with Day of Good from the ground up. And so this year, we were able to, on one day, coordinate 16 of our locations who all organized themselves and got out into their community and performed a community service project in their own location. It was very exciting.
It's so wonderful. That's what I love about this industry is the fact that we are a bunch of families all working together and really trying to support our community. So congrats on that. And I mean, maybe Maria, can you explain a little bit more about exactly what the Day of Good is and how you really put it into action?
So as mentioned, Day of Good is our first ever company-wide day of service. And this was in 16 different of our locations, as Jaime mentioned, but this really wouldn't have been possible without our community champions. And we really empowered them to go out and look for an organization that would really, fall along, not just our philanthropic values, which are children, education, and hunger relief, but, just to do service in the area. So a couple of examples that I have for you are that, in Denver, Colorado, we had our food safety manager go to the grow house and they donated over, I think, 100 bags of produce. So this benefited children and families in that location. So that was one success story there. And then we also had a different range of things happening. So in New Jersey, we were also doing things with schools and, Jaime was out there. They did school supplies in that location. But back here in Immokalee, which we're headquartered in, we partnered with the Charitable Food Bank and we donated over 5,000 pounds of food to the families of Immokalee. And that was great. And that was done by our marketing manager. So as you can see, our community champions are, people that are not just they have different roles in the company, and I think that's what made it really one family for us.
Great story. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie and Maria. It's so inspiring to hear your story, and there's so many more out there just like yours, and we really appreciate you guys coming forward and talking about your support of the foundation here at United, but also your company's leadership and your culture of giving back every day.